Hello, all you fellow Dusty Dogs and travelers of the trail out there. My name is Dusty Yodi here for DIOT Gaming, and welcome back to Winds of Change. If you are watching this on the Twitch stream, I have nobody at the moment, but I should get maybe one or two in soon. This is currently a interactive series, which means that people who are currently in the Twitch chat can help me decide what options to pick. There are frequently times where there are multiple options. There are choices that can affect various in-game things. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people can do to actually interact with the stream. I also want to point out stuff that I've been learning. There is actually a release of this game coming out in June on the Switch that has a lot of stuff that's going to be updated. So I'm currently playing this on the Steam version. I'm not playing this on the Switch. I'm playing this on Steam. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to come out on the Steam version. There's going to be some new stuff on there. There's going to be a whole bunch of other things on there that I might not actually be able to see. I encourage people, because this, as far as I can see from the Twitter account doing this, which is Clace down here. Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of that from that stuff about how the Switch is basically going to be like the definitive edition. I encourage anybody who's interested in this game to go check it out there. It's releasing sometime late in June. So, soon, but yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. Okay. Taking a bit of time to think. Yeah, it's thinking and having a difficult time for some reason. Come on. I loaded. Yeah, that's the pointer. There it is. Okay. Okay, so last time we got a vision of Valinorth being burned to the ground. We had ourselves quite the, interesting little, like, lucid dreaming experience, basically, with that. And, yeah, a whole bunch of shit happened, and who knows, a whole bunch of crap. We learned some stuff about Valinorth's potential involvement with a rebellion against the Triumvirate, as well as what the Triumvirate might be able to do, if they get their hands on a weapon currently sitting in Valinorth. So now we go forth, and it's time to see if how Valinorth is doing and how everything, if stuff is okay. My eyes shoot open and I instinctively clutch my gut. The pain from the vision lingers, pulsing through my body. Panting heavily, I squirm in pain, waiting for it to fade. I fall off the side of my bed and slam into the floor. Thankfully, this makes me fully lucid, stopping the pain. For a moment, it's as if I existed in both scenarios. I rise to a sitting position and focus on my breathing. Still in shock at what happened, my heart beats frantically. It takes a while before it slows down, but I happily wait. Oh, yeah, our dream of the vision of Valinor being burned to the ground. Yeah, it ended with us being, like, stabbed in the stomach, in the gut. Not fun, not fun. When these negative feelings subside, I stand up. The vision I just experienced plays on a loop in my head. I had to warn Milas. I had to ensure this didn't happen. A knock sounds at my door, and I lock up in fright. After what I just saw, my mind is filled with anxiety. Thankfully, as the voice calls out to me, I'm put at ease.
Hey, Seer! Open up! Don't make me wait all day again!
It's Fortum. He's my best friend and Valessa's student. As my scribe, she had to train a backup, so to speak. A terrible scenario to plan for, but it had to be done. I rush over to the door and quickly unlock it. Welcoming him in, I notice a huge grin on his face. I feel relaxed. It's a brief reminder of safety.
Did you just wake up? Oh, jeez. I hope we won't be late. Don't tell me you forgot what day it is.
Okay, we have 4 options, and I have no viewers in chat right now, so I will just do my standard one. So yeah, we can have a joking, flirty, this is an aggressive response, and normal. So I'll just do... You'll have to refresh my memory, because I had... Oh, we have somebody in chat. Hello, you arrived at a good time, viewer. If you would like, you may help me pick one of these. Also, I apologize because the number just ticked over. The number just ticked over, so I probably am. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on you already. I'll give it another 30 seconds. If they don't want to, I'll just go ahead and click my default. My first one here. I did put backseat gaming on here, right? Yes, I did. Cool. Wanted to make sure. Okay, I'll just go ahead and go with you. Have to refresh my memory for Tim.
Huh? Did you forget? Oh well, I don't blame you. There's lots going on lately. You're being officially inducted. You know, the ceremony to brand you as a seer? It should have happened ages ago, but stuff got in the way. Let's not delay it anymore, alright? Just sign this paper before we go. Milas wants it. Consent for the ceremony.
Also, is it just me, or does Fortim look like a Cabot? Because he's got the ears, the nose, No, he's got, like, the nose, bit of the buck teeth of, like, a rabbit. So, like, facial structure, but the patterning makes him look like he's, like, mixed with a clouded leopard of some sort. So he looks like a Cabot to me. For those of you who are unaware what a Cabot might be, it is a cross between a cat. It is a frequent hybrid species of a cat and a rabbit. Shortened down to portmanteau, Cabot. Oh, yay, we get to enter a name. I am going to take... I don't know why this... Schmarlem. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Let's go ahead and key that in.
This is exactly what I'll need. Put on something fancy. I'll wait outside.
And yeah, it just puts it in text. Nobody actually says anything. Nobody actually says the name. They'll usually address you as Seer. But still, it's kind of funny to see Schmarlem in there. We try to try and stop him, but he's already gone. It's for the better, though, as he mustn't know what I saw. The only people authorized to know were Milas and Valessa. I walk over to my wardrobe to look for an outfit. As Fortim pointed out, I'm still in my small clothes. If it was a big day, I guess I'd have to dress the part. But what should I wear? Because I am a male, I generally wear gender-conforming clothing, for the most part. Of course, I'm fine with pants and shirt, so I'm going to select elegant menswear. Yes, that should be a fine choice. I slip into the menswear and turn back to my room. I take in everything at once. It's a huge mess. Once I meet Fortim, we might be busy for a while. I should finish up any last-minute business while I can. But at the same time, I shouldn't keep him waiting for long. Okay, yeah, now we can look around for some books. Why are you going slow as heck today? Last time Fortin came over, he left his journal. Of course, he has nothing to hide, and he's always open. I often benefit from his writings. He's smarter than he lets on.
On scribes and visions. The scribe of Valinorth is a very important position, and one not to be taken lightly. Tasked with hearing and interpreting the visions of the seer or seeress, they bear a large mental burden. The spirits have their own language, and many visions are cryptic in nature. Though visions have become more clear over time, they started out as a mess of metaphors and confusion. It's almost as if, over many years, the realm of spirits has found ways to communicate more efficiently. This is interesting for many reasons. We must wonder if the realm of spirits is a physical entity, capable of growing and learning. There is no real explanation for this growing level of clarity in communication. It is widely believed that the realm of spirits hosts the souls of those who have left our world, but nobody has ever actually communicated with the dead or seen a long-lost loved one. Instead, these spirits grant visions of the future to those capable of witnessing them. Almost like a warning, they've helped keep Valinorth safe, and Alestia by extension. Either way, because the visions have become more straightforward, the scribe is more of a ceremonial position. Rather than carrying any real weight, it is just an attempt to continue Valinorth's tradition. Recently, Valinorth has given the scribe their own protege, someone to take over if the worst should happen. For this reason, I study valiantly under Valessa. Fortem.
Alright, so there was that. I was making sure that I had a, if you're seeing the mouse move in weird directions, it's slightly overlaid over my, Streamlabs settings. I was making sure that you could actually hear the desktop audio. Whoops, I should have checked that earlier, but oh well. So let's look around the house. This bread is hard as a rock, but I guess it's better than nothing. I'm in a hurry. I'll grab one to eat on the go. My cooking space is so messy, it's embarrassing. I'm glad Fortem didn't stay and visit. It would have been lecture after lecture. One of my books on the creation of Alestia. Aulgus Villiers is one of the most famous scholars in the world. I tried to collect some of his works, but he wrote so much.
On Alestia's creation. There are many theories on when Alestia came into existence. None have any foolproof evidence and are merely based on personal belief and the conviction of the individual. The most popular, however, is the belief that the Triumvirate created our world. This theory is strengthened by the fact that no history or records of history exist prior to their rule. Therefore, the passage of time on our world is measured by how many years have passed since the first recording of known history, the Triumvirate's arrival. But, as the lack of evidence cannot be considered evidence itself, this is a topic of hot debate. The answer does not seem to be within our reach, and many scholars who dedicated their lives to this knowledge have since given up and moved on. As everyone on Alestia lives in a relative peace, these pursuits are considered a waste of time. If the Triumvirate truly did create our world, then we must thank them, for they are very generous and righteous gods. Perhaps one day, though, we will know the truth. Aulgus Veyer.
Oh, Veyer. Whoops. One thing that I want to point out, and I forgot to at the end of Fortem's diary, this is just a general voice that is being used for reading these. I really wish that books that were ascribed to, like, a named character, like, in-game, were read in that character's voice. Like, Fortem's diary is read by Fortem's voice actor, or stuff like that. It's a weird thing. I do just kind of wish, like, I would have been interested in hearing, like, scholarly Fortem instead of, like, all over the place Fortem like he kind of can be later on. I only know this section, and then that's it. It'll be blind after probably this session, so yeah. I really wish I could just hop back into bed, but I guess I have responsibilities and stuff. I shouldn't keep Milas in the dark for much longer. Is there anything to say about the sword? The sword has been above my bed for as long as I can remember. It's ceremonial, and it really couldn't do anything in a fight. Fortem gave it to me when we were younger. That's how we met. Alright, book. It's a book on the true reach of spirits. A very divisive topic, and one that's always debated.
The true reach of spirits. It is a widely held belief that plant life is a container for spiritual energy. Because this energy is so pure, residents of forested areas tend to lead a happier and more fulfilling life. While many are frightened at the ability for the spirits to influence our mood, they have yet to do so in a negative fashion. To this end, many people actively seek out homes in areas surrounded by nature and this positive energy. Whether negative or positive, being influenced with unknown intent is concerning to many people. It seems to be tolerated simply because the power helps in a beneficial way. What if the realm of spirits were to lash out and make us aggressive or worse? What if they are conditioning our minds to slowly bend to their will? At that point, they could make us do any manner of bidding. This is the thought that also keeps many away from such areas of Alestia. But as there are numerous large cities, finding a home that suits your belief is far from impossible. Many ask the Triumvirate to speak on this, but they remain ever silent on the matter. Is it possible that not even our rulers know the true nature of the spirits and their reach? August Veyer.
Yeah, I believe it's pointed out. Was it pointed out in the last time I did this, or is it going to be pointed out later? At some point, somebody's going to mention, like, most of the other areas of the game are basically been clear-cut. So there's not really that many pieces of nature remaining. Oh yeah, we can also have a chance to talk to somebody, but we don't have that person in our party right now. So let's go ahead and world map this shit. Where are you? There we go. About to visit the world map for the first time. Click the question mark at the bottom corner for a tutorial. The story flow and exploration will be explained in more detail. It's not a question mark, it's actually a little hourglass. So yeah, if it's gray with an X, we can't visit it yet. If it's gold with an X, we can visit it. Yeah, so story flow is did it, can't reach, can reach, you cleared it. And the star is the next objective, and then there are optional side areas that you can go to. So right now, our main one is Main Street. When I exit my house, I feel a wave of heat overtake me. The sun pierces through the canopy of Valinorth with fierce intensity. Some of the residents use makeshift fans, looking utterly exhausted. Fortum, however, stands there unaffected, with a huge smile on his face.
Wow, I didn't expect you to dress that fancy. I'm a little jealous now. I feel underdressed. You should do my wardrobe next time we go out. Hey, are you okay? You look a little shaken up. Are you nervous about the ceremony?
I had a concerning vision last night.
Oh, I see. Perhaps we should find Valessa first. It must have been bad if you're acting like this. But hold on. Just remember the basics. Visions are never foolproof. They're always full of errors. It's like looking at a painting. It's up to interpretation. Everyone who looks at it would walk away with something different. Not that I have visions, I'm just trying to help. Valessa will make sense of everything you saw. I know it. Sometimes visions make mountains out of mud piles.
Fortum, it's worse than you think.
Whoa, really? Scare me half to death, why don't you? Let's put everything on hold then, and get Valessa. We're supposed to meet her in the town square. But if this is as bad as you say, you better tell me too. Not as a scribe in training, but as a friend. Got it?
Alright, we have a choice. A, B, C, or D. So, A, B, C, D, or E, actually. There's 5 here. You're more than a friend to me, Fortum. I'm sorry, I have to obey the rules. You're asking me to break our sacred traditions. I'll have to play it by ear, Fortum, or you got it. Once again, if anybody's watching this on the VOD, anything that is like grayed out, like this section has, I'll have to play it by ear. I did a test run that basically did the first 2.5 to 3 hours of this game. So anything that is grayed out, I have already selected. So yeah. Not really getting a response, so I'll just go ahead and do the same thing again. I'll have to play it by ear, Fortum.
Alright, I know how it is, and I understand. I know you wouldn't purposely put me in any danger, so whatever you end up doing, It's for the best, right? Anyway, we should head to the town square. With this vision business, we'll have a busy day. Don't waste too much time, alright?
Fortim has now permanently joined your party. So yeah, we can now talk to him whenever I think we want. A comrade joining your party also retroactively unlocks content. For example, you can bring Fortim to your home and talk to him there. It's a good idea to form a habit of revisiting previous areas. So let's see, I think this is where I need to go. There's a book here, is this it? This is Fortim's house, and it's in tip-top condition. It looks brand new. He must take very good care of it. As I get closer, I notice a book left out on his porch. It has his name on the front, so I can only assume it's his own work.
Visions and paintings. A vision from the spirits is apparently more like a painting. When a vision is over, a seer or seeress can often vividly recall the bigger picture, while smaller elements are lost in translation. For example, if the vision was about the death of a villager, that part would be clear. However, how they died and what reaction each individual villager had to their death would be unclear. Instead of knowing this information, it is more like a gut feeling or a single interpretation of the events. In some cases, it is as if the spirits send us a single picture of an event, and the seer or seeress goes on to act it out in a dream in whatever way they can make sense of it. If at any time there was more than one seer or seeress, it is likely that their interpretations of each vision would be vastly different. But as there is only one seer or seeress at a time, we will never be able to put this to the test. Instead, the scribe discusses each vision in depth with the seer or seeress, and they come to an agreeable interpretation. Oftentimes, the smaller elements are disregarded, and only the bigger picture is given any credence. Using the death as an example, we would only assume a death is coming to Valinorth. Digging into why it was going to happen would be impossible. Although, as the spirit's ability to reach out to us and communicate slowly increases over time, we have to wonder if soon these visions will be concrete, and interpretations would become a thing of the past. Fortim.
Isn't that cool to think about, Seer? The spirits are artists, and your mind is the canvas. There's so much work required in interpreting visions. Of course, the spirits grow stronger every day. It's already gotten to a point where a scribe is near useless. I have more volumes written on the subject. I'm sure you'll find them.
I do have to question this, which I do every single time I've gone through this. Both times, I guess. Not every. I haven't played this more than twice. Fortim sounds very, very young. Like, for reference, he sounds like he's in his mid-20s. He has volumes written on the subject. It's quite young for somebody who's... I mean,
Can
I get
you
he's...
believe how much stronger they've gotten, though? I wrote this book years ago and it's almost outdated. We've been able to witness so much growth in one generation.
I cut myself off there. But yeah, there's... yeah, quite a bit of stuff where it's just like, wow, you sound like you're 20, but there's stuff that implies that you've been working and working and working for decades, I think. Okay, we can actually go back to the house, which I believe has a Fortim conversation. Yeah, you can see the little icon actually now has somebody walking here. Hello, Fortim.
Hey.
Alright, so once again, this is just a straight down the list in this portion, so what do you think of my room?
Well, it's a huge mess, for one. You should see mine. It's flawless. I'm actually tempted to start cleaning. But I know I shouldn't do that without permission. Last time I did that, I got into a whole mess of trouble. A story for another time, I guess. Or whenever you ask.
So yeah, I think he's a bit OCD. Or I'm going to guess he's a bit OCD.
I'm pretty sure that's an understatement. I just can't stand when something is out of place. It drives me insane. It makes me freak out.
That's most of the reason why I think that.
Don't be offended if you see me messing around. Everything has an order. A perfect place it should be. I just like putting things where they belong.
Be my guest, clean whatever you want.
Oh, thank goodness. I was so scared you'd get mad at me. Give me a few minutes. I won't take long. Wait, why is there a sack of grain on the floor? And your cooking area is an absolute mess. This is going to take longer than I thought.
You think Fortim would be upset at the condition of my room? I have literal piles of books on the floor. Part of that because I have no shelf space for them, but part of that because that's how I've been organizing them lately. But they're just all over the floor. It's not the best organizing system, but right now it's how it works. But I know it would cause some people who would come into my room and be like, "Why are these not on shelves?" Did I do this one already?
Oh, thank
Okay,
goodness.
yeah, I
Wait,
did.
what?
Okay, so I should hire you to be my maid.
Is that a serious offer? Because, you know, I'm very interested. Even if Milas says that's against the rules. But I'll wait until you make a formal offer. Sometimes I act on impulse and make a fool of myself. There was big trouble last time I cleaned without permission.
What happened last time?
I saw a house so dirty I couldn't resist. It turned out to be Milas' spare study home. Everything was messed up, but with purpose. He said it took him months to recover. I messed with his stuff and threw his studies off. I'll never forgive myself for doing that. He said it was unbecoming of me. I had to look up the word, but I guess it's true. As a scribe in training, I need to show some class.
Okay, so yeah, that was all for that route. How do you like being a scribe in training?
It's pretty great, actually. Everything is given to me by Valinorth. Money, food, a house, you name it. I work with Valessa more than you, though. I'm kind of disappointed about that. We tend to roleplay real scenarios. She'll take on your role, and I'll take on hers. Playing a scribe for a scribe. Best possible training. Unfortunately, I doubt I'll ever be a real one.
Do I get input on... This is another one of these where it just goes in order, so... Do I get input on who my scribe is?
I don't think there's any protocol for that. But I assume Milas has the final word there. Or whoever the elder is at any given time. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. But I hope you're not trying to say Valessa is bad. Is there something I'm not seeing here?
Alright, we have a choice. A, B, or C. A, I'd actually much prefer to work with you, Fortim. B, she's fine. More than fine, actually. Or C, oh no, not at all. I was just curious. I'm kind of interested that one of them doesn't have, like, a flirty thing with this one. Because, like, flirty has come up, I think, on one of them for a similar one for... Well, I don't know. This is a weird one. Because you could be, like, completely serious about... The line, I guess, could be... The two lines could be taken, like, two different ways. The flirty route or the professional business route. And I have no idea what the reactions are, so I'm just gonna... Nobody's answering, so I'll just go, oh, no, not at all. I was just curious.
Oh, I guess I jumped to conclusions again. I really need to stop doing stuff like that.
This is in the way,
I
actually,
hope I
now
was
that I
able to
think-
help your curiosity, though.
This is in the way, yes. So I'm going to take out that one. There we go. Chat might also be in the way, but it'll be in the way no matter which side of the screen I put it on, unfortunately, so oops.
We have to obey the rules set in stone by Valinorth. I'm just happy that we all get along with each other. This trio could have been a lot worse, if you ask me.
Alright, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I really love climbing trees. Aside from that, I love reading and cleaning. It's a simple life here. But I have no problem with it.
This is another reason that I assume he's a Cabot. Because I'm not exactly sure how much a rabbit would like climbing trees. I admit to not knowing that much about rabbits, but I'm assuming they prefer to have their feet planted on the ground and not possibility of springing off a branch. So, his facial structure is a little bit rabbit-like, but some of his mannerisms can be cat. So, yeah, Cabot.
I have a lot of time off. Way more than Valessa. Honestly, I think I only do half of what she does. Just means I need to keep myself occupied. If you see me with cuts and bruises, don't freak out. I'm pushing myself to the limits, climbing bigger trees. Before you know it, I'll be on top of the Grand Tree.
We didn't get to see it, but you'll see it in a little bit, and it is heckin' massive. Since we're being a little slow, I'll go ahead and... I will say, like, A, sounds fun, maybe I'll join you. B, don't hurt yourself too much. Fortim. I almost said Fontaine. Been playing Bioshock, so, yeah. I was playing Bioshock not too long ago, so it's like, yeah, Fontaine. That's certainly what that is. I did finish Bioshock, so... Alright, so I'm gonna go with the one I did last time. Don't hurt... Actually, you know what? No, I'll do something a little different this time. I'll do Sounds Fun. Maybe I'll join you.
Wait, seriously? That sounds awesome! I'll have to choose something easy then. I don't want to throw you right into it. Valinorth needs you, and I won't screw that up. But it might be fun having an apprentice to teach.
Okay, so yeah, that was kind of cute. That was a reaction I did not get last time, so cool. How long have you been in training?
About 5 years less than Valessa. After the Triumvirate took over Mazeo, we were scared. So I think it was a worst-case scenario type of thing. Some people say that Mila's father trained him too. That's why he was able to take over so easily. That means he's like me, but for the position of Elder.
So, for lore reasons, I am going to go ahead and just straight up choose what happened in Mazeo, because I think it sheds a little tiny bit of background on why everybody seems to treat Mazeo as kind of like, ooh.
You must be messing with me. Is this a test? I'd rather not talk about that, if it's all the same. At least approach the subject a little more casually.
Oh, I forgot it's not that one. I apologize. Ever thought about a job on the side?
I don't think I'm really allowed to do that. The training I go through is already mentally exhausting. I need to devote my spare time to blowing off steam. Of course, this is under Milas' orders. I'm sure I could handle something if I really wanted, but getting in trouble with him really isn't worth it.
Alright. Oh, shit. I forgot. He has a extra little thing here. What would you do if you could?
To be honest, I just like helping people. So probably cleaning up here and there, keeping tidy. I consider a day successful if I've made someone else smile. Maybe I could be a problem solver or something. People always need some help, so I'd never go bored. It would always involve something new and exciting.
He's freaking sweet, I'll just say that.
Of course, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Milas says I'm not allowed to do any extra work. Training has to be my most important focus.
There are a lot of these. I forgot how many conversation options there are. Like, these are very, very long. I could offer you some under-the-table work.
That sounds awesome. It really does. But I'd never hear the end of it from Milas. If I overload my brain with work, I'll slip up. He says I always need to be at the ready. Unfortunately, that leads to a lot of waiting around. Who would have thought too much spare time is an issue? That's why I do things I can always cut short. Climbing a tree? Just hop down and try again later. Cleaning? Just stop. The mess isn't going anywhere.
That line actually throws a wrench in my possible OCD, because from what I've heard, for the most part, OCD people probably wouldn't like to stop in the middle of it, whereas he can. So it makes me wonder. It's pretty harsh of Milas to demand.
I could think of much worse things to do. Considering that, it's not too bad on my end. My life is simple, and there's some beauty in that. You and Valessa always seem so busy. I'd rather stay in my situation than be overworked. I'm sure you cope with it, but I doubt I could. I hope I never have to step up either. That would mean something terrible happened to Valessa. I don't even want to think about that. Let's move on.
Alrighty. Have you ever thought about quitting as a scribe in training?
Oh no, I could never do that to you. You need me, and all of Valinorth needs me. I'm not as important, but I'm still important. We're almost as important as the Elder, actually. He even looks to us for guidance sometimes. I love the job. It just has some downsides. I wouldn't mind leaving Valinorth one day, but that's probably just because I'm not allowed to. You know what they say about wanting what you can't have.
Okay. Holy crap, that was actually a really, really in-depth one. Do you like living in Valinorth?
Yeah, it's great here. Sometimes I wish I could leave, but it's dangerous out there. Mazeo is the closest city, and we all know what happened there. Balteus would be way too cold for me, and Alarinthia would be way too warm. I think we have it perfect right here.
So, as a reminder, Balteus is way up the hell north. It's the place whenever we've seen, like, the Triumvirate's castle, where it's been all, like, it's been cold and snowy, it looks like. Kind of gothic-y looking with the castle, but yeah. Mazeo is a port town that kind of goes off to the rest of them. Alarinthia is a fucking desert. That is trial by combat air kind of stuff. It's mostly, as far as I can tell so far from descriptions, it's been like mostly like nomadic people with a couple of centralized towns that are all like fighting for succession rights. As in who gets to succeed being the next leader. Oh, we'll actually get some stuff here. What can you tell me about Balteus?
Well, it's really far up north. The Triumvirate is stationed there. I've heard their castle is amazing. But I don't think too many people live there. From what I've read, it's full of their most loyal subjects. So they're honor guard and prospective generals. I've heard they have a grand library, though. In Valinorth, my reading material is really limited. I'd say a library like that makes up for the cold.
What can you tell me about Alarinthia?
The tribal lands, to the far east. I know very little about Alarinthia, except that it's hot. You have to be really strong to live in a place like that. And that's who lives there mostly. They take strength very seriously, and hold tournaments. Fighting is a big deal. It determines who holds the throne. But there's barely any books on it here. I'm really only educated on Valinorth and Mazeo. Maybe someone else could teach you about Alarinthia.
Well, depending on who we have, we might actually be able to find someone soon. But anyways, what could you tell me about Mazeo?
It's the trade hub of Alestia, full of docks and ships. I really hate talking about this, so I'll make it quick. It's been over 20 years since the Triumvirate occupied it. They put a trade ban in effect as soon as they did. It doesn't affect me too much, except for a type of apple. My parents used to treat me with them when I was younger.
Another rabbit thing. He's got a fondness for fruit, which I admit my cat kind of is interested in it, but for some reason it's like the dog who is more interested in apple because of the crunch. I don't think a cat also normally seeks out apple. Our cat certainly does not.
Hopefully one day they remove the stupid ban. They say it keeps order on things, but I'm not sure. More laws just means more rules to break, right? Anyway, yeah, Mazeo is a really interesting place. Everyone said the force they used to occupy it was justified. Eliminating piracy and bringing the law to Mazeo was necessary.
Maybe one day we'll get to leave Valinorth.
That would be cool, but I highly doubt it. We have strict orders to remain in Valinorth at all times, and Milas isn't the type of guy to let anyone break the rules. It's been this way for thousands of years. I don't think we'll get any special treatment. I mean, we can dream, but it won't really go anywhere.
Quite the pessimist Fortum, just for something different.
It's called being a realist. I've come to terms with the life we have in Valinorth. It took a while, but I'm sure you'll learn to do the same.
Also, wow, one of the few times I've seen his angry expression. Alright, so we'll go back, and that was it. Alright, so yeah, now let's go to... This one had very... Oh, so yeah, now we can actually advance plot. Town Square. Jesus Christ, it's only been 45 minutes. It's already been 45 minutes. The town square is a serene and beautiful place, like usual. Excuse me. A far cry from how I saw it in last night's vision. I take a deep breath and relax. We're all safe.
Hey, nice to see you again. I was starting to worry you might be late. Thankfully, we still have time to spare.
She runs up to me and gives me a tight hug. I glance over at Fortim, and he appears embarrassed.
Oh my, is this a hint of romance I see? And in public too? People will start to talk.
Shut it, Fortum! Nobody asked you. I was just excited to see the seer. Remember how special today is?
Say Schmarlum. Alright, so we have another four possibilities. At least ask before hugging me. She's just enthusiastic, Fortim. So what if there is something between us? And I don't comment on rumors and speculation. So, A, B, C, or D. Last time I did the approval one, so that's why it's grayed out. You know what, for right now, we'll keep our options open. Since again, there is a viewer, but nobody's actually putting anything in chat. I'll just go with, I don't comment on rumors and speculation.
That's pretty much confirmation in my books. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
I'm just keeping myself open right now, Fortim. You still have a chance, given how sweet you are.
But I guess there's more important matters at hand. Sorry for getting sidetracked. I'm all over the place. Do your thing. I'll be waiting over there by the tank.
He runs off to the water tank and rests against it. He's definitely out of earshot, so I could talk to Valessa. We need to meet up with Milas so they could hear about my vision.
I swear, Fortum can be so insufferable. Be glad you don't work with him as much as I do. He keeps things interesting, to say the least.
Alright, A. Yeah, he's kind of annoying. B. Hey, don't be so harsh on the guy. C. Actually, I kind of have a thing for him. Or D. Can't we all just get along? It's also kind of funny because the joking, teasing / pleasing one is a harp with a bunch of music notes on it. Because our character, a bard. Our character is the bard. Actually, no. From what I've seen, there's a guy later on who will be more of a bard than our character. Although we could still play our Zir as one. You know what? I'll just use the same one as last time. Hey, don't be so harsh on the guy.
Hey, I'm just joking around. We're best friends. We're supposed to poke fun. Either way, something about this doesn't add up to me. Fortum would never willingly walk away from us. He'd only do that if he's not allowed to listen in. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had a vision, didn't you?
I'm just imagining because we're in the middle of like the town square and apparently Valessa's home is right here, just like, yeah, a really bad one. I had a really bad vision this time. I have a phone. Give me a second. Apologies for that. They were being nobody important. But yeah, so I'm just imagining them just like screaming out yeah, I had a vision, a really bad one. It's the middle of the town square. It's public, and I have no idea like how populated this town is. Like we see, there's nobody in the background, so it's like I don't know how full this town square is. But yeah, a really bad one, Valessa.
Oh, really? I knew something was off. You seem different. I didn't want to bring it up, but now I know why. Should we go to the Grand Tree then? It might be good to discuss this in private. If I tell the villagers, they won't bother us.
Thankfully, our seer is sensible and goes, no, we need to get to Milas and fast.
Whoa, you're starting to creep me out, Seer. Involving the Elder? That's very serious. But I trust your judgment. I really do. Let's grab Fortum and head to Miles' place. If it's actually that bad, you should be there with us. Just promise me one thing. Do your best to keep calm. Some of the villagers are already looking your way. If they see you freaking out, they'll freak out too.
Valessa has now permanently joined your party. Like before, new content has been unlocked in old areas. But a new feature, Parallel Chronicles, has also been unlocked. A brief tutorial on that will follow after this dialogue window. Parallel Chronicles. The world of Alestia is a living, breathing place. Though the story takes place from your perspective, the large cast of characters is always up to something. In the top left of applicable maps, you can view subplots by clicking on a character's icon. You can do these in any order, but it is recommended to do them in the order you see them. So let's see. Is this 1? It is 1. So now, yeah, remember Domek from the prologue type thing, where we were going back and forth between the Vision and all the other people? We now have Domek and Sovi available. So let's start with Domek 1. Domek and Ulrich gather in the town square come morning. The road to Valinorth would be long and fraught with danger. But this time, Domek was certain he'd sent the right man.
Are you sure you'll be okay on your own? It's not too late to ask for some escorts.
Yes, Domek, stop asking. I'll be fine. And I'm well aware of the dangers. Bringing more people would just put them in harm's way.
Oh yes, and that means the more glory of shirtless Ulrich! I'm sorry, I like his body type. Muscular without being overly muscled. Like, I can't, as I mentioned before, I can't stand Schwarzenegger type guys who are like, way the hell out there, but who are like, who feel like way the hell out there. Although I have been reading, what the hell is it? Welcome to Cappuccinos by Graveyard Greg. So, yeah. That has, like, the majority of people who are, like, total, like, almost that type, and I actually quite enjoyed it. So, who knows? But yeah, preference for this type. Anyways.
Well, forgive me for caring. I just wanted to make sure you're comfortable. If the attack is imminent, you'll have to rush.
I expect it'll take me under a day. I'll arrive in the dead of night or maybe early morning. Seeking out the seer will be the first thing I do.
So yeah, he is actually still coming for me, so that part of the vision is correct.
Fantastic, then things will go perfectly. Make sure to give the rest of the town a heads up. You can all evacuate together. You'll blend right in. But remember, you need to stop by Milas and grab the blade. Otherwise, the Triumvirate will seize it when they attack. If I'm honest, I don't think we stand a chance without it.
I can't believe they're attacking Valinorth. The occupation of Mazeo is still so fresh. Thankfully, they haven't found us yet.
Right under their noses, just as we should be. I'm going to meet with the mayor after this, actually. I'll see about fully claiming those underground tunnels. Whatever they were digging for, they've stopped. I think it would make a fine base of operations. Getting the deed shouldn't be too difficult.
Wait, you mean we'll have a new home? No more sleeping on the hard tavern floor?
Apparently things are rough for the rebellion.
Never again. It's time we get established. I have some large shoes to fill as the general. The first step is finding us a fitting home.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. But one last thing before I go. Is it true what I've heard about Milas?
Absolutely, so please be kind to him. He'll be a valuable ally in the coming days. Best of luck on your vacation, Ulrich.
Trust me, I wish that's what it was. But I'll try retrieving the seer and the blade as soon as possible. Good luck with the mayor. I think you'll need it. But coming back to a home with an actual battle plan? It's starting to feel like our cause has some real weight to it. I feel bad for doubting you, Domek. You're doing a great job.
Alright, so that's Domek. Oh, there's a book here, but we'll do that after. Sovi 1. Sylvie into the chambers of the Triumvirate unprompted, for Halen had extracted the information they desired. They raised their hoods and turned to him, scoffing, a hint of aggression on their quickly concealed faces.
Sylvie, what is the meaning of this intrusion?
Halen has finished his interrogation, Masters. I thought it would be wise to relay the results. Unless you were plotting behind our backs.
We would never do such a thing. Information is granted to you as we see fit. If you are left in the dark, it is not permanent. But please, tell us what Halen discovered. We have a feeling our theories are similar.
Yes, of course. The Exodus Wielder is located in Valinorth. I am ready to launch our attack at a moment's notice.
Good. Then it is time you hear the rest. Valinorth is just a small part of our larger plan. We see no more reason to withhold this information.
That much was obvious, Masters. Why did you keep it from me for so long? Halen and I are more than loyal enough.
Sylvie, this is not a matter of loyalty. We are sure you'll understand when you hear. It would not be wise to doubt our word.
Yes. My apologies. Nobody likes being left in the dark. I will ensure my words sound less doubtful. If there is a greater plan at play, I am honored. I find no greater pleasure than serving your cause. So please, tell me what you wish, and it will happen.
We've led you to believe that Valinorth is our goal. However, it is just the beginning of a much larger plan. Today, you will learn the true nature of the spirit realm.
The true nature of the spirit realm. Yeah, unfortunately, the Parallel Chronicles are kind of teasing, because you never hear exactly what that is, or as far as I know. It'll take a while, at least. Alright, I think there's a book hidden over here. Oh, there's buckets lined up right beside the faucets. In my haste, I didn't even drink or eat breakfast. Should I wait until I'm free to drink, or... So, A, put your mouth under the tap and drink, or B, go thirsty for an indeterminate amount of time. I was one of those kids who drank out of the hoses when I was younger. I don't know, I probably am just a little too paranoid to actually do that myself now. I also admit that I am, like, totally... Like, we have filtered water. I am totally one of those people who prefers filtered or, depending on the brand, even like the bottled water. Ironically, after an incident with, what is it, Arrowhead? I think it's Arrowhead water, where we were driving up to Lake Tahoe, and I found one of their plants in just the middle of a dry, like... They advertise it as mountain spring water, but it's like... We saw it in the middle of, like, a dry, flat plain in the middle of the, Is it San Fernando? What is the big, huge valley that runs up the middle of California? I totally have forgotten. Of course, I haven't had to drive it. I haven't driven through it in like 3 years. 3 years, actually, because freaking... I think it's the San Fernando, but... I think it's the San Fernando Valley, but yeah. The only reason I ever drive up the valley is because we're going to visit cousins up in or family members up in Northern California. So we go up there and make it a thing and go around San Francisco, Sacramento, that sort of area. Yeah, I drank. So yeah, we'll put our... I'm assuming Valinorth is a little bit cleaner than we currently have right now. So let's go ahead and put our mouth under the tap and drink.
Ugh, that's disgusting. Those things could be so dirty, you know? I like to wait until there's no one around.
Oh yeah, you did just join me, didn't you? Okay, there should be a book around here. Oh, is it sitting over here, maybe? There's a book sitting here. It's wet and stained. Most likely water damage due to its proximity to the tank. When I approach it, Fortin laughs and apologizes to me.
Sorry, I think I dropped that when I was waiting. It's something I picked up from Mila's house a few days ago. You're free to take it. I have no use for it anymore.
Mysterious Mazeo. When the Triumvirate occupied Mazeo almost 20 years ago, many people wondered if they did so with an ulterior motive. On the surface, it looked like they wished to rid the region of piracy and those who would break the law. While it worked, many believed that the Triumvirate was slowly becoming tyrannical. There is one very peculiar thing, however. Their general, or mayor, is almost never seen, and the same goes for the honor guard they've placed in Mazeo. Hundreds of soldiers, almost never walking in the light of day. Instead, I've had several reports tell me that they dig in the night, deep underground, as if they're searching for something of importance. Could this be what they wanted Mazeo for? I've branched out of Valinorth and started corresponding with some people of note in Mazeo. It seems that even if it had a positive impact, many are against the idea of a forceful occupation. One city, and then the world. I suspect that the people in opposition will soon form their own army. It seems like they want to take Mazeo away from the Triumvirate and place it back in the hands of the people. A noble cause, I say. Valinorth must never meet Mazeo's fate. The Elder of Valinorth.
Alright, so interesting. Alright, that seems to be all I can do here, so let's go ahead and head back to the map. Ooh, is it? I think it's Main Street. Can I have the conversation? Yes. Valessa. Oh, shit. We have somebody here, too. Pro 1. This is the guy who I think is the bard. Pro slammed his hand of cards down on the table. His opponent scoffed and shouted accusations of cheating. He smirked as he made his way to the bar, laughing them off. With his newfound riches, he'd celebrate over a drink.
Only when they lose do they accuse me of cheating. Where I come from, it's called a sore loser, Aaron.
I've seen Aaron spelled a lot of ways, but if that's how you're going to spell it, that's the weirdest one yet. Or I've seen multiple spellings of Aaron.
It's only being sore if you're not cheating. Pro, are you swindling people in my tavern again?
I don't know why, but the black face with the white outline, also kind of good looking.
Now, that's such a terrible way of putting it. Nothing wrong with using sleight of hand to win. I like to think that they're paying me for my awesome tricks.
That being said, the fact that you keep rolling nat 20s on your sleight of hand, yeah, you're probably cheating a little bit.
And taking it out on me and my tavern. Yeah, I can see why you think that's so much fun. You're not the one who has to clean up after the brawls.
I've been playing D&D with a tiefling who's actually used sleight of hand quite often. To ridiculous effect. Often it's quite funny. She is a hell of a magic magnet lately. If you want to watch me play in D&D, I actually am playing with a group of friends. We do stream our sessions on Twitch. Sunday evenings at we're trying to go for 7 o'clock in the evening Pacific time, 10 Eastern. We at Stream 4 Initiative. So yeah, I think that is all just written all as one word. Stream 4 Initiative on Twitch and YouTube. So you can go ahead and watch our streams over there. Fun times. Go check it out.
Trust me, I'd kill for a brawl right now. And remember, this isn't your tavern.
Sure it is. Has my name on the deed and everything.
This guy sounds like the one who's been narrating most of the stuff. I don't know why. It seems odd that this is the closest one to the narration. But anyways.
Oh yeah? Say that to Domic's face. He's only keeping you open as an intermediary. We need a neutral place between Mazeo and Valinorth.
Trust me, Pro. I'd manage just fine on my own. Most people come here for the drinks and the fun. Domic's support is a bonus, not really a necessity. Besides, how is your investigation going? Weren't you looking into the seer or something? Hard to do that when you play cards all day.
You think I'm playing, but I'm secretly listening. Your patrons have given me a great deal of information.
So you're stealing that from them too? Are you ever gonna give anything back around here?
Yeah, I'm this close to making my move. There's this really cool sword being held in Valinorth. I'm supposed to retrieve it along with the seer.
Yeah, so, first of all, I like the fact that he's celebrating over a drink, and Schmarlem sounds like something you might say when drunk. I'm supposed to retrieve it along with Schmarlem. Second of all, oh god, what was I thinking? Oh, yeah. Unlike every other, like, implication of being in a public place, Pro's line here actually sounds like he's trying to keep quiet about it.
Of course. That was almost a week ago. Namek is pretty impatient, so I better hurry. If I take any longer, he might send someone else.
He is sending someone else based on his last parallel chronicle.
That's the smartest thing you've said. Not today or this week, just in general. It's not like that blade will come to you. Here, try this new ale that just came in. But after that, you really need to get to work. I'm afraid you're scaring away some of my business.
Yeah, I'll get right on it. At least let me write my boss first. There's a bunch of stuff he has to know.
You mean Damek? He's my boss too, you know.
Yeah, of course. I'll grab a paper, and you break out that ale. It better be as good as you're making it sound.
Pro is kind of adorable. All right. Oh, God. Oh, but there's a whole bunch of conversation coming up, so I better just do the one with Valessa. Excuse me for a moment. There we go. All right. So, yeah, another branching one like Fortum had. Do you like living in Valinorth?
Yeah, of course I do. It's so peaceful, and everyone is so nice. I don't think Valinorth has any real downsides. We're not plagued with piracy like Mazeo. Our hierarchy works, and we're always stable. If I ever got the chance to leave, I doubt I would.
This is making me wonder, like, if there's any particular cultures these were all based off of. Just the nations in general, like how much was based on real life cultures, how much was like, we'll start with this and see how that develops from there, and then like, oh, actually Valinorth would probably be pretty decent, and Mazeo would be a little bit strange, and Alarinthia would probably be a little bit head buddy. I can't think of the competitive. There we go. Head buddy.
That's partly why I've never left the village. I know that Peregrino is out there in Solberg, but I've only heard stories. I've never actually been.
This is what I meant when I mentioned something about city-states last time. Peregrino and Solberg technically fall under the region of Valinorth. They're a little bit out, but they're not exactly like... They're a little bit out. They function... Actually, Solberg is still technically part of the Valinorth, like, main region. Peregrino is kind of in the middle. It's not Mazeo. It doesn't fall under jurisdiction of Mazeo. It's actually right on the borderline of the Valinorth region. So yeah, we'll see a map in a little bit, and it'll make a little tiny bit more sense. What can you tell me about Peregrino?
It's a watering hole, like a bar. It's popular for people on their way to Valinorth. That's why it's called the Pilgrim's Tavern. It's a good business idea, in my opinion. The road to and from Valinorth is long and arduous. I bet everybody wants to stop and grab a drink.
Interesting how she pronounces arduous, because I have almost always heard it as arduous. Like juice. Arduous. Like I do actually pronounce arduous. Yeah, it's arduous. It's the first time I've heard somebody pronounce it as oh, that is the worst. That was the worst. I was about to say hard D versus soft D. And I swear I'm only referring to grammar and the letter. Oh no. I walked into that one. That was bad.
At least, that's what I've heard. We don't get too many outsiders, but it's still in business. It makes me wonder if there's something more to that place.
What can you tell me about Solberg? Trying to move on from my hard D versus soft D mishap.
Apparently, each nation has a spirit idol. It's where the spirit realm reaches out into the physical world. Solberg is home to ours, but it's been closed off for a while. It happened around the time we were born, actually. So I've never actually seen one in person. Just in drawings that Fortim and I can find. You know how nature is supposed to hold spiritual energy? Well, that energy has to come from somewhere, right? The idol is actually what delivers it to the land. But one idol can't cover all of Alestia. So, like I said, each nation is supposed to have their own. They're like national treasures, to be heavily guarded.
We might have to leave someday, you know?
I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. We're rather self-sustaining here in Valinorth. As long as we have seers and scribes, we'll be good.
Bad vision, plus we might have to leave Valinorth, equals, I'm not going to take too much stock in that. Really, Valessa? You couldn't pick up on the cues?
Everything pertaining to our livelihood can be foreseen. So far, we haven't had to forge any alliances or treaties. And remember, it's been this way for thousands of years.
Which sounds like the young adult novel way of saying it's about to all get fucked up in a few moments.
Not that I'm against alliances or anything like that, but we have no purpose to leave, so I probably won't. I need to stay where my role is deemed most important.
Alright, so that one's done. What is working with Fortim like?
It's an experience, to say the least. His attention span isn't the best, you know. He'll zone out in the middle of our studies.
Yeah, so that's now weird, because now that's almost like... Is that... ADHD?
And he always finds a way to make things humorous.
Excuse me.
It can be somewhat frustrating when I'm trying to teach him, but maybe that's just me, and I need to loosen up a little.
So yeah, last time I went with agreeing one on A, he needs to calm down a little, yeah, but otherwise there is also B, you take things a bit too seriously, Valessa, and C, as long as we all get along in the end, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no real major, like, story-altering ones happen until a little bit down the line. I think in conversations like this where I can come back here, it may affect a character standing with us at some point, but right now I haven't seen anything. Again, I've only played for about 3.5 hours, so... you know what? This one I'll do a little bit differently. We'll do... You take things a bit... Actually, we'll do... Yeah, we'll do this one. You take things a bit too seriously, Valessa.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But we're in positions that are very sacred. If we don't take this seriously, we'll end up failing. Maybe I'm just picking up Fortim's slack. I feel like the villagers hold us to a certain standard. If it were just him, he'd fall way short of those standards.
Although based on what he's written, he actually seems like he could actually buckle down and get to it if he needed to.
I must sound like an awful person right now. I just feel like we all need to act professionally.
Alright, are you all prepared for the ceremony?
Yeah, definitely. I've been preparing for weeks. It's not too complicated, at least for me.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be it. That's the first time I noticed it, but yeah.
It might be a little harder for you. But basically, just recite after Milas. After that, it's one big celebration.
A note on that because I don't want to sound too harsh, and unfortunately I might on another game. That's the only one I can tell so far, grammar-wise. I tried playing Roman's Christmas a while back, and I want to enjoy it, but it is grammatically a mess. So I'm hoping there's more, I really want them to put in a little bit more work and fix up the grammar mistakes, because otherwise, like, wow, like, I was like, Roman's Christmas was like, it's a visual novel that's almost like Phoenix Wright-ish. It's a mystery novel where you're kind of laying out evidence and trying to find out who did what, clearing some people's guilt and pinning guilt on others as a detective position, but actually, to a certain extent, it might be a little bit more like the Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. There we go. But the grammar made things difficult. So yeah. I hope it... I want that game to be fixed, and I want it to be better. I want it to be fixed. I want them to work on it and hopefully fix their translation errors, because I want to like that game, but it's just a little hard to follow, and I got like jumbled up and couldn't go back to it for a bit.
My role is minimal. This is your special day. As long as you can handle the spotlight, you're good. You won't have to memorize anything or make a huge speech.
Yay! Non-voice stuff. I like that. Why are we only doing this now?
Apparently, Milos' father was caught up in other things. It must have been important to shun something like this. I wonder if it's related to his disappearance. Anyway, that's why it hasn't happened until now. It's supposed to happen when you're much younger, but I don't see any reason why it can't happen now.
What's the whole purpose of the ceremony?
You pledge yourself to Valinorth and its protection. Until the end of your days, you'll serve our village. In return, you pretty much get to live a life of luxury. The benefits are amazing, and a long time coming. I hear you'll get a house near Milos and loyal servants. You have to be stress-free. Mental strain affects visions.
I mean, as cool as that sounds, I also would be just like, if I was personally placed in a situation like that, I would be like, I honestly probably would be freaking out, because I would just be like, I mean, I'm not used to this. I could get used to this, but I'm not used to it right now. Like, also the matter of like, what do you do with yourself when you're like that? Which is why I picked isn't that a bit excessive. And you know, what the heck? I've got nobody responding, so yeah.
It might be, but that doesn't mean it's not awesome. You're the most important person in Valinorth, remember? You should be treated with as much respect as possible. I'm sure you can turn that stuff down, but it'd be the first time in history that anyone did. I think you need to take it, and get rid of your stress.
When does it start?
As soon as the sun starts to set. So likely we still have a few hours. Plenty of time to meet with Milos.
And how long does it last?
This only happens once a generation, so I'm not sure. But I've heard that it goes until the sun starts to rise. That's a bit too much for me. We'll see how long I can last.
Party!
From what I've seen, you're pretty stressed today. I think the ceremony and the party will help you unwind. After it's done, we can take care of whatever we need to.
So not quite a New Year's celebration, but basically like a New Year's celebration. Alright, and that was all for Valessa, actually. So thankfully that was a much shorter one. Alright. So I will still be able to get a little bit more story in here, so let's do Milos' house. I'll go a little bit longer probably today, because I was going to do an hour and a half, but I forgot how much split conversations there were. We enter Milos' house with an aura of purpose. Though they didn't know what I saw, they knew it was important. We see him shuffling papers at his table, oblivious to our existence.
Hey, Milas. We need to have a word.
He doesn't seem to respond and continues his business. Fortim seems anxious and taps his foot on the floor. Yeah, this is another reason where it's like I don't know what Fortim's like, if he's a cat or a rabbit, because if it's a rabbit, it'd be thump, 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 thump. Based on how big his bottom feet would be. A few moments later, Valessa gives up and interjects.
Milas, snap out of it. We need to talk about something important.
She slams a fist down on the table, startling Milas. He jumps back a few feet in fright and then laughs. Whatever he was looking at, it fully engrossed him.
You know what they say about death, right? When we die, we go on to live in the realm of spirits. With that logic, spiritual energy should be infinite.
As much as he's contemplating intellectual things, I will admit that the first thing I thought of when I saw Milas is... He's blue? I didn't know they were still making Sparkle Dogs. I feel bad for saying that. But it's true. I'm just thinking like it's a blue-colored wolf. There's not that many blue-colored wolves around here. There's not that many blue-colored dogs of any sort around here. Like, we've had characters that, for the most part, one could explain them off as being normal coloration, fairly normal coloration, except for Domik. And then all of a sudden we have Milas in here who just is like, yeah, his fur is actually just plain old blue. He's a fucking Sparkle Dog by comparison to everyone else. I feel bad saying that.
I'm not really sure how to respond to that. I mean, we've had seers and scribes for thousands of years. I'm pretty sure we'll have them for thousands more to come.
Oh, do you?
Wouldn't that be beautiful? Sorry for rambling, but we should all have a seat. I'm afraid things aren't going to go as planned.
He motions to the back of his house, a carpeted area. With no chairs in sight, it looks like we'd be sitting on the floor. We make our way over there, questioning just what he meant.
I think we were going to say the same thing to you. I mean, the seer had a vision last night. A big one. Hopefully, we have enough time to get through all of this.
Well, unfortunately, I'm past the point of subtlety. So, in the interest of time, I'll get right to it. The induction ceremony is henceforth cancelled.
Whoa. Big event, and you're just saying nope.
What? You can't be serious. You hype us all up and take it away? There better be an explanation for this.
Yes, it's called Young Adult Novel Start of Plot Syndrome. Big, huge event is supposed to be happening, but shit going down, and so it can't actually happen. So a lot of them start, at least. Fortim is fuming with anger and very upset. I guess Milas was right. Plans have changed. But the timing, along with my vision, was odd.
What's going on here, Milas?
I'm afraid that's a very complicated answer. Let's back things up a few moments. Seer, tell us about the vision you had.
Say, Schmarlem. I take a deep breath as we all sit down. That was the moment I told them everything. How Valinorth was destroyed by the Triumvirate. I told them about the blaze, the agony, and the man who led the attack had a mystical blade. Not only did it kill Ulrich, but it killed me as well. When I finished my story, I met with silence. They look amongst themselves in shock and confusion. That's fine. There's a lot to process all at once.
Just as I expected. It was only a matter of time before you saw it. That is, if the spirits truly cared about our protection.
Wait, slow down a minute. How do we know nothing was lost in translation? Remember how abstract visions are known to be?
I can confirm that an attack is imminent. Besides, Valessa, you know visions aren't like that. The spirits have gotten strong enough, That's no longer an issue.
Yeah, there's a couple of other reasons why these visions in particular are going to be so strong, which Milos is going to explain shortly.
But this can't be true.
It is. And unfortunately, it's just the start. But there are still some important matters at hand. Before I send you off, I'll tell you everything.
He smiles at each of us before taking a deep breath. I notice large bags under his eyes, signs of unrest. He must have been living with the secret for a while.
I didn't want to tell you until you needed to know. I'm just lucky that this vision waited until I was ready. The Triumvirate wants to occupy Valinorth, as they did Mazeo. I know what you three lost in Mazeo, and I'm sorry, but what they plan to bring to Valinorth is far, far worse. Punishment for my father's involvement with the rebellion.
Just like that empty armor seemed to imply. So Valinorth did have some relation to the rebellion. And it wasn't just during Milos' short reign, either.
We're supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah, that's our whole deal. Why would your father do that to us?
Because in a partisan world, it's very, 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 very fucking stupid, illogical, and difficult to be nonpartisan.
I'll never forgive you, Milos. Your father is responsible for all of this? He betrayed Valinorth the moment he helped them.
Cool your shit, Valessa. The only reason we're probably getting out of here alive is because he did.
Understandable, but this is not my fault. Surely you know about my father's disappearance. But have you heard the stories of the recent rebel victory?
Rebel victory?
The blade that the seer mentioned. It was taken from the Triumvirate. Without it, they are weak and vulnerable. But it was not an easy feat to accomplish. In their pursuit of the blade, many people died, including the leader of the rebellion itself. The new leader, Damek, sent it here for safekeeping. I hid it in the Grand Tree where no one would find it. I want you to take it and seek out Damek in Mazeo.
Hey, slow down. This makes sense to you, but it's all a blur to us. Your father was one of the men that died to get this blade?
Not much of a blur. You picked up on that part pretty quickly, Fortem.
Indeed he was, Fortem. The rebel leader's death, my father's disappearance, I'm afraid those are intricately connected.
You mean?
Yes, I do. My father didn't work with the rebellion. He created it. The first allegiance in Valinorth's entire history.
Whoa.
Yeah, once again, young adult novel plot syndrome. This shit is about to go down.
He formed an allegiance with insurgents in Mazeo. Together, they grew and created a large army, large enough to steal the Triumvirate's sacred blade.
I don't understand why he'd do that. We're fine on our own. We always have been.
Your world is about to get flipped turned upside down, and you're gonna have to wait while Milos takes a minute to explain this whole shit.
Times are changing and leaving us behind. I'm afraid that Valinorth is a dying culture, Valessa. What I am about to tell you must not leave this room.
What is it?
You know of Salberg, right? How it houses the spirit idol of Valinorth.
Yes, she just explained that to me, as a matter of fact.
Yes, of course. But it's been blocked off for a long time. I've never gone to see a spirit idol in person.
I'm afraid it might remain that way. Seer, on the eve of your birth, it went dark. Valinorth is living unlimited spiritual energy.
There's no way I believe that, Milos. Our connection with the spirits is eternal.
I wish that were the case, Fortem. It pains me to say this, but it's true. You are the last seer we shall ever have.
How screwed are you when even your gods go out and go, nope, I'm getting the fuck out of here?
Normally, the spirit idol chooses a child. That child is imparted with a surge of spiritual energy. When they pass away, it does the same to the next generation. But you, Seer, it gave everything to you. Like the spirit realm is making one final push. I don't know why, but I have my theories.
It sounds like the spirits have given up on us. Perhaps we took their gift for granted and abused them. Without that idol and their energy, what will happen to us?
I expect that Valinorth will become like any other nation. We'll take history into our own hands, rather than act on guidance. It's not a bad thing, and I don't think the spirits gave up on us. In fact, I think it's the opposite. They're placing all of their hope on us. The Seer and that blade can save us all.
Back to that blade again? What does that have to do with all of this?
It's not an ordinary blade, as you've been told. In order to harness it, you need remarkable strength. Or, in other words, a vast amount of spiritual energy.
What a coinkadink! That means we have a bunch of it, and we have a blade. 2 and 2 together make hey, Valessa, tell us what it is.
I think the spirits chose you to wield
Oops,
this
Milo
blade.
said it.
Take
Valessa.
it, join the rebels in Mazeo, and defeat the Triumvirate. I know this is asking a lot of you, but we always follow their lead. Valinorth may be attacked, but we can rebuild from the ashes. Our true goal here should be the destruction of the Triumvirate. History should be in our hands, not in the hands of unjust gods.
So that's why your father formed this alliance? To take control of our history in the spirit's absence? And to make sure the Triumvirate doesn't dictate our future?
He wanted to strengthen our bonds with outsiders as well. Without visions, we have to take things as they come. Foresight helped us out, but we won't always have it. What we do have, however, is the potential of the Seer. I think that's why he sacrificed himself to get this blade. He knew that you'd be able to wield it and achieve liberation. Please, take the blade and flee to Mazeo. When the ceremony is supposed to start, I'll tell the people. They're all rounding up, so it'll be easy to evacuate. We might be a bit behind, but we'll meet in Mazeo. There's lots to plan, and little time to plan it. We'll need new homes and blades for any volunteers.
Yeah, mass problematic shit going down.
As far as I can tell, this is not up for debate. If you think it is, then consider it an order from your elder. Leave as soon as you are able, and we'll meet again soon.
He stands up and walks away. Moments later, he's back to his usual business. We exchange glances with one another, overwhelmed.
Listen, I'm gonna try and be the voice of reason here. Milas said a lot of stuff, and it could be true or false. But if an attack is coming, we should go either way. Especially if there's a weapon we can use. I think we should grab it from the Grand Tree first. Again, not siding with anyone here, just using logic.
Yeah, you're right. We do the same thing, even if Miles didn't tell us to. Find something to defend ourselves with, and leave Valinorth. But he said the spirits gave you all their power? And they cut their influence from Valinorth for good? This changes Alestia's entire history, not just our actions. I can't say I fully understand, but it makes sense. Miles' father foresaw all this and took action. I feel hatred, but at the same time, I feel hope.
Your second line should indicate the fact that we probably don't need a seer. We just need some people who are competent. Well, and confident, but competent enough to realize what the hell they probably need to do. Because he saw all that without a dang vision and just decided, alright, let's just do this.
Let's take this one step at a time, Valessa. We'll grab the weapon and make our way out of here. The rest can fall into place as we move on.
We nod and stand up as well. With an attack on the way, we had to move. Midas would take care of evacuating everyone else. If we got that blade first, Sovi couldn't use it.
So, to the Grand Tree then? I'll try to maintain one modicum of sanity. It's not like our lives were just turned around.
They weren't turned around, they were turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute and sit right here. I would go, no, I'm terrible at it. No.
I'm sure we'll manage as long as we're together. I'm not giving up on any of you. I promise. There's nothing we can't do if we all pitch in. Let's go to the Grand Tree and get that blade.
Alright, we have quite a bit of shit that we can do here, so we'll probably clear out this area and then call it, because otherwise that could be quite a bit of stuff. Let's see. Is it here? I looked through all the books, but nothing seems interesting. Everything that Milos found worth in was already on the table. That, and on his little desk on the window facing Valinorth. Must be great to live in a place with such a nice view. So it's like, hey, check out those 2 locations. So we'll try desk. I examine the table, looking at the scattered pieces of paper. Milos is deep in his studies, and I'd really hate to bother him. I want to read some as well, so I try to grab something he's put aside.
On Valinorth's blood leaves. Though it doesn't look like it at first glance, Valinorth is actually settled high atop the mountains of Alestia. Many believe that it is the spiritual energy that keeps our village and its surrounding areas warm. But the reach of this energy is not infinite, and it cannot affect the colder climate seen in Eastcrown. We don't venture into Eastcrown simply because our bodies would not be able to handle it. Either way, that is a separate story, and I wish to touch upon the blood leaves native to Valinorth. At the very top of the grand tree, for an unknown reason, the leaves grow a crimson red. We have no explanation for this, though some people believe that these are the tears from the departed, trying to reach our physical realm. A superstition, to say the least. Every few years, a gale of cold wind comes from Eastcrown and assaults the canopy of Valinorth. This causes many of the leaves to wilt and fall off. The wind carries these dead leaves on a journey through Alestia's skies, including the aforementioned blood leaves. The rest of the world sees the falling of the blood leaves as an omen, a portent of bad things to come. The sky being painted red with these leaves may look scary to some, but those who live in Valinorth see it as a natural event. The Elder of Valinorth.
Yeah, I mean, like, what difference is there between... Unless they're fucking literally physically glowing. What difference is that between... What difference is there between that and, like, the falling of leaves? Like, my parents, more often, when they were able to travel a little bit more, frequently went up to, the northeastern United States. So... Oh, God, was it Chicago? They tried to go for the falling of the leaves, like, up in those areas, because apparently it's supposed to be gorgeous between Chicago and New York. But yeah. They always have, like, barely missed it. Like, they came, like, one year they came, like, the week afterwards, and we're like, no! And, like, yeah, it came a week early. And then they came up right before, and then they were leaving, like, no! It came a week late! Also, I used to have a family member that used to live out there, so yeah. Family members that used to live out there. So, yeah. They moved to California, though, so most of my family is, like, same place. Anyways.
Eastcrown is a pretty scary place. I've thought about going there, but I'm too scared. Apparently, it's cold enough to kill you in minutes.
We could actually take a peek at it, but I've never actually seen
The Wall
one.
of the Blood Leaves is beautiful, though. I've seen it a couple of times since I was born. Not sure what other purpose Eastcrown serves.
Alright, so that was on that one, so let's now look at this desk. Milos isn't using this desk, so I assume it's fair game. I push aside a few papers looking for anything of note. The book on Solberg grabs my interest, as he brought it up. Apparently the spirit idol there has stopped giving off energy.
Valinorth's line of seers. The seers of Valinorth have helped guide our nation to a state of constant peace. Everyone in Valinorth lives a simple and happy life under the guidance of the spirit realm. There's only one seer or seeress per generation, and their birth is marked by a surge of energy emanating from our spirit idol located in Solberg. There's a rotation of guards who watch the idol when a birth is expected to take place. As there can only be one seer or seeress at any given time, and the spans of time without them are very small, we can accurately predict when another shall be given to us. With Valinorth's small population, it is very rare for multiple births to happen on one night. However, that is not the purpose of my writing. I wish to discuss what was observed on the night of the most recent generation. Typically, the spirit idol will have a burst of light and energy before returning to a dim state. However, with the latest birth, there was no dim state. Only darkness remained when the final seer was given to us. The implications that this has on the future of both Valinorth and Alestia are too large to even fathom. We must simply take each day as it comes, knowing our dependence on the spirits will grow smaller and smaller. Now, we must come to rely on the rest of Alestia, instead of only ourselves. I will seek out potential partners in the future. The Elder of Valinorth.
So this must have all been Milas's father, writing these Elder of Valinorth things.
I had no idea that they were hiding such a secret. Valinorth could run out of spiritual energy for good? The cold from Eastcrown could easily kill us off.
Fortune, don't worry. It could be thousands of years before we run out. Besides, at this point, it's still conjecture.
Okay, so we've done all that. Let's do... How do I want to do this? Let's do the Parallel Chronicles first. Domic 2. Domic conversed with Grizz, the mayor of Maseo. There was much to be done before the rebellion could settle down. But first on his agenda was procuring the city's underground tunnels. A place to operate in secrecy would be essential to their continued success.
Come on, Grizz, this must be possible. Even their honor guard barely monitors the place. When they do, they're oblivious to our existence. If we don't push them, they won't push back. Although, one final push might be required. Either way, we need that deed as a rightful claim.
Jamek, for the last time, it's not so simple. If the Triumvirate knew I was helping you, they'd kill me. I wouldn't be surprised if they damaged Maseo as well.
Oh, come on, it's not that risky. We'll operate silently. They'll never know.
Everything has a paper trail, Domek. They keep track of every step I take. At the end of the day, I'm still their general.
This face always makes me kind of chuckle a little bit, because with the way he's scrunching up in concentration, Grizz totally looks like his eyes are crossed. Let's see. Let me just focus on the bridge of my nose here for a second as I think this over. It looks strange to me, and it's just kind of funny.
I understand that you want those tunnels, but it would be too risky. They'd find us out. I'm not gambling with my life, understand?
With them, it's a gamble, I'll give you that. But with me, I'll have you know it's a certainty. I don't think you know how much we need those tunnels.
Domek, is that a threat?
Of course not. We're too close for that. Close enough that you won't have to find out. I'm sure we can come to some sort of deal.
Maseo is rubbed off on you. I'd expect such tactics from pirates, not you. I have to say, you'd need something big to woo me.
Yeah, like, so in this guy, yeah, so like in this instance, this eye is focusing over here on Domic, and this eye is actually pointing backwards outside of the ships in the background. It's just, the cross-eyed thing is just funny to me. Domic walks up to the desk and places some papers down. He looked up at Grizz with a smile, who returned only shock.
They dig for 20 years and find nothing. I use my forces and we find it in days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is it.
Domek, I don't believe this. This is what I've been looking for. You must tell me where it is.
A deed might sweeten the deal for me. Besides, you can report this finding to the Triumvirate. They'll be so ecstatic they won't notice anything else.
Oh, will they?
It is a big deal, and it might sate them. But they'd likely send forces here immediately. You want me to put a target on your new HQ?
Actually, their forces will be preoccupied. I have word that they're undertaking another mission. We'll have plenty of time to occupy and fortify.
I can't believe you found it, Tomek. If you want the deed, you must give me exclusive access. Nobody else can touch it. I have my plans, and that's final.
Of course, I'd be more than happy to, but you might have to wait a bit longer. Tapping into it requires some special means. But I promise you won't be waiting much longer. So please, if you would hand over the deed, and once they arrive, it's all yours.
Also, this is another thing I noticed with Grizz that's mildly concerning. It's more noticeable with Sovi because for some reason Sovi's eyes tend to blend into his pupils tend to blend in with the rest of his eyes fairly easy, but yeah, Grizz, your eye is almost entirely out of your face. Speaking of Sovi, Parallel Chronicle Sovi 2? Yes. Sovi left the chambers of his masters, remaining in shock. The truth of things had been explained, and he was surprised. He knew it would take a while before he accepted these revelations.
Such a truth. And to think I never knew. This will change everything about my approach.
So yeah, it's very hard to tell, based on what I was saying last time, it is very hard to tell where Sovi's eyes are. This one is right here. This one is hiding all the way over here. But it's very hard to tell because for some reason, like this for me, almost blends into each other. Mostly only for Sovi do I have that problem. Everybody else I can kind of tell where they're pointing, but Sovi's eyes are drawn a little weird.
Master, you seem unwell. We leave tomorrow, you should get some rest. I know I'm not the one to give orders, but please.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It seems there is more to this attack than we knew. The Triumvirate just finished explaining our true objective.
Our true objective? Sovi, what is the meaning of this?
I don't think I'm able to tell you, Halen. They trusted me alone with this information. Perhaps you can visit them on your own time.
Typical. Teasing me with information and pulling rank. I want to prove myself, Sovi. I want to be at your side.
What do you expect at some point one of them is going to backstab the other? Sovi, I know, does so in a very small way in one of these Parallel Chronicles, but I mean like full on, like, fuck you, I'm going to absolutely uproot you and everything you thought you knew sort of thing.
Trust me, that would be wonderful. But this is different. It changes everything. It would be better to hear it directly from them.
All right, all right. I have to say, you seem quite distressed. I'll go talk to them, but take my advice and rest.
I'm afraid there's no time for that, Halen. I'm going to speak with the prisoner. He's coming too.
Shane is coming with us? Sovi, that doesn't make any sense.
It seems a run-in with the rebels is likely. To that end, I've come up with a fitting punishment. When you're done with our masters, meet me back here.
Yes, of course. I'm ready to take action at a moment's notice. And now, something tells me we will be.
Alright, so those are the Parallel Chronicles. There's a lot more dialogue, though. Let's start with Valessa.
Hey.
So, in light of all these, what do you think about all these revelations?
You mean everything that Milas told us? I'm freaking out. I can hardly believe it. But the spirits would never lie to us, right? I can't believe the Triumvirate is our enemy. I know they had their reasons with Mazeo, but there's no reason to attack Valinorth. Not at all.
Yeah, the only definable reason is that they're actually a bitch! I think they wanted their sword back.
Then why Why don't they ask for it?
Because they're a
There's no need
bitch.
to attack us like this. Makes me wonder if there's more to Mazeo.
Well, based on our parallel chronicle with Dominic, probably.
They said they took it over to fight piracy. But I think they're acting in their own interest. Burning down our village? They don't care about Alestia.
I'm hoping the low viewer count is just because this is slow to start up, because I've just started doing this. So we'll just do, maybe the blade is just that important.
I'd have a hard time believing that. They don't want the blade. They want us dead. Stealing is easy. That's not what they're doing here.
First they take the blade, then they do that thing that I mentioned in the vision with all the fucking stealing of the souls, and did you not remember that happening?
All I can think about is the realm of spirits. It's been getting stronger, but maybe it's too strong? Maybe they've started to see it as a threat.
What are your thoughts on the Triumvirate?
I always thought they were good rulers. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. Mazeo shocked us all, but we've all moved on. There's also a line you're not meant to cross, though. Burning down an innocent village is way past that. No goal could justify what they plan to do with Valinorth.
What's in store for Valinorth's future, then?
Honestly, I don't know. I usually look to you when I think about that. But without spiritual energy, things will change.
You look to me? Lady, you are in for a ride, if that's the case.
We're up in mountains, and the spirits keep us warm. Without them, Valinorth would freeze and wilt away. We'd have to migrate to Mazeo, like Mila said. One thing I know is that the Triumvirate is ruined. There's no way people will side with this attack. It's only a matter of time before word starts spreading.
I see a problem. We're about to affect history by literally making it where the attack of Valinorth never happened. So what happens then when the Triumvirate attacks a Valinorth that has nobody in it?
I think I need to concern myself with Alestia's future. The rebellion will probably be swarming with new recruits. We can fight back so no one else loses their home.
Last time I picked the pacifist route, I'm no fighter, there has to be another way, but you know what, I'll take this one. Yeah, we'll unite and take them down.
And it all starts with that special blade. I guess we should head to the Grand Tree. No sense leaving without it, right?
So much dialogue I forgot about. Are you ready to leave Valinorth?
There's something I never thought I'd hear. Thousands of seers, and they never left Valinorth. I guess we're meant to play bigger roles than we thought. But to answer your question, no, I'm not ready. Unfortunately, my opinion doesn't count for much. I'll have to come to terms with this as we move on.
So I'll choose a different one to kind of mix things up for me as well. I'm actually eager to see the world.
Really? Huh, I guess I'm the odd one out. Even Milas, our elders, seem so eager to leave. I'd like to see the world, but not under these circumstances.
What do you think about this blade?
I'll decide when I see it. You and Milas made it seem really incredible. But at the end of the day, it's just a sword. I doubt it'll be the turning point of this battle. Of course, I wouldn't mind being proven wrong. What else can you tell me about it?
It's more than a blade, it just looks like one.
Wait, that's really confusing. It looks like a blade, but serves another purpose? Tell me more. I'd like to know what makes it special.
I'm surprised there's no... Like, I know I'm talking specifically to Valessa, but considering both, like, Fortin was established as being permanently in the party, I'm surprised he hasn't spoken up at least once during this entire conversation. Anyway, their lackey took down our entire village with it.
So it still works as a standard weapon. But I'm curious about the other functions it has. We'd never do this for a run-of-the-mill sword.
It steals life to grow their army.
So the more he killed, the more he had to serve him? And Ulrich's life powered a bunch of armored suits? That means their army could always outnumber Alestia.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why it might be a threat. But we won't be stealing life like that, right? We should keep it from them and limit their numbers.
This might be a little bit... I wonder if this is actually going to add anything to corruption. I'll have to check. If we want to win, we might have to.
Let's put a pin in that one, alright? I don't think we should resort to their means. At that point, what separates the two sides? We can use it as a weapon, sure, but we shouldn't kill Alestians for greater numbers. We can build a strong army through peaceful means.
What if we just suck the souls out of the things that already have souls floating around them and that are empty anyway? Anyway, yeah, that was it for Valessa, so now we have Fortim.
Hey.
What do you think about this?
It's a little overwhelming, to be honest. I know I acted all cool, but I'm not really sure. I'm used to a simple life. Now that's all gone. As far as I know, Valinorth is the last spiritual nation. If we lose our connection, what's going to happen? Will Alestia just be completely devoid of spirits? And not only that, but the Triumvirate being evil? As far as I know, they've always been benevolent. I know what we lost in Mazeo, but I've moved on. Anyway, I can process all of that later. I'm more worried about what's going to happen to us. Not Valinorth or Alestia. Just you, me, and Valessa.
What do you know about the Triumvirate? Jesus Christ, I have to, like, take a major piss, but I want to wait until this dialogue.
Nothing anymore, I'm afraid. Seems their goals have changed to conquest. With Mazeo, it made sense. But not with us. I thought they were our gods. Our protectors. I'm starting to doubt that they even cared. I mean, was this their goal all along? All 4 nations, under their thumb. If they just asked first, we could have cut a deal. But straight to violence? I don't get it.
Now it's kind of funny because I just realized I took the pacifist route with Valessa the last time and then the aggressive route with Fortim, and now I'll do the aggressive route with Valessa and the paciful and the more peaceful route with Fortim. I wish I could have resolved this peacefully.
Yeah, and part of me wishes we still could. I mean, the attack hasn't happened yet. But I know that's a stupid wish to have. You don't beg for your life against those odds. They're coming with everything they've got. And from what you said,
I need to sit up.
Their power is incredible.
I need one of... See, that's the thing I'm going to need most when I get to... That's the thing I want partner level most for now, so I can add that posture check in so people can remind me all the time. Do other nations handle fine without spirits?
Yeah, but not as good as us. Alestia would be better if the spirits were everywhere. Valinorth is perfect, and we were truly lucky to live here. But I guess those days are coming to an end. Without spiritual energy, we'll succumb to the cold. The winds from Eastcrown will take over Valinorth. I hope there's something we can do. Maybe after this, we should come back home. If we could just get that idol to shine again.
No need to act cool with me. You can be open.
Thanks. That means a lot to me. But I wouldn't want to come off as whiny. Right now, we need to combine our strengths. The pity party seems appealing, but it'd be a waste. We can't afford to throw away the sacrifice of Mila's father.
I'm sure we'll be fine as long as we stick together.
Yeah, definitely. We're a team for a reason. There's nothing we can't handle. I'm ready whenever you are. Let's grab that blade and head to Mazeo. Whatever you need, I'll be by your side.
Alright. Are you ready to leave Valinorth?
I never thought I'd be leaving Valinorth. In fact, I came to terms with that a long time ago. But here I am, leaving it behind for good. And I'm scared. Everything I've read about the outside world is scary. Piracy, deathly cold, and even deathly heat. We had it good here. A really nice middle ground.
Yeah, but again, young adult novel plot syndrome. It couldn't stand for long now that we've actually started this game.
This is where it gets confusing for me, though. Mazeo was supposed to be safer because of the Triumvirate. They occupied it, with force, but they've kept it peaceful. They could easily do the same thing to Valinorth, but killing everyone? And burning it to the ground? They've crossed a line that no one ever should.
Do you think it will really be that scary?
I'm sure it might be worse in my head, but with all the stuff I've read, it's still scary. I'm used to routine, so anything new is frightening. Mazeo is full of merchants, pirates, and mercenaries. Let's do our best not to make anyone mad. You never know how far their influence spreads.
This one, sensibility says, yeah, you're right, we'll just have to behave.
Which is boring if you ask me. I'll try not to say anything witty. Pirates aren't the best with humor. Besides, I'm sure Dominic will be there waiting. He'll make sure we get off to the right start. We're going to Mazeo. We'll need protection.
Do you think they had secret motives with Mazeo, too? Oh, I'm sure they had.
Maybe Dominic will tell us more about that. I'm sure there's a lot to catch up on. This rebellion isn't exactly new. I'm willing to bet there's more at play. But with Valinorth, there's nothing secret at all. They're planning to raise our village, plain and simple. You mentioned that it might be for the blade? That excuse would never fly for an attack this large. At least for Mazeo, they said they were fighting piracy. I'm sure they want their blade back, but yeah, that desire and this attack are two separate things. I'm sure we'll find out the truth if we keep moving forward.
We might have to cross some lines as well, Fortum.
That's what worries me about all of this. They push, and we're expected to push back. What if we don't like fighting? That fight or die mentality is a terrible thing. It can drive good men to do horrible things. Please, don't let that happen to you, Seer.
I'll do what needs to be done.
Please, don't change too much. We're going to be fighting for peace. That's not worth anything if I can't share it with you.
God damn it, why do you have to pull out the sweet line like that? Anything we should do before we go?
I wouldn't mind taking one last look at the village. It's so weird, knowing that an attack is coming. This could be the last time we see our homes. How are we just supposed to accept that? I expect we'll have plenty of time to grieve, but is that something we should really have to do? We don't have to look around, but I'd appreciate it. If I find something I want to take with me, I'll grab it. I'd much rather leave Valinorth behind with no regrets.
In other words, make sure you find all the appropriate reading materials and stuff left behind, because we're probably not coming back here for hours and hours and hours of gameplay. I can't make any promises, Fortum.
I understand, but at least try. It's never easy, leaving a life behind. I get that. But one moment now could save you tons of sleepless nights.
And that was finally it. Jesus Christ, it took so long to get through all of those. Okay, so I am going to... Can I save on the map? I can save on the map, so I am going to save. Let's see if anything changed for my different choices. Nope, we still have no purity, no corruption, and no morale change yet, so we're good. Alright. So, yeah. That is where I'm going to end it for right now. That was a little longer than I expected, because I did not expect the amount of dialogue. Actually, I should just say, I forgot the amount of dialogue that was going to take place. So, yeah, I will continue this at least once a week. I may have a switch up in my other weekly streaming thing, because not a lot of people are watching that either during the stream or afterwards. I do appreciate everybody who has been watching the Winds of Change VOD afterwards, as well as anybody who tunes in, because those have been some of my biggest ones lately, and I'm really, really thankful for everybody who is stopping by, whether they are watching in-stream or on the VODs, as well as the fact that these are going to be uploaded on YouTube, so you can also go check them out there. Or if you're on YouTube, do remember that I am if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, do remember that I am streaming these on Twitch at least once a week. Keep keep in tune to either my Twitter profile, at DIOT_gaming, for updates on when I might be about to stream this, or keep in touch with the Twitch channel if you want to know when I'm about to stream this, because, well, it is looking like Friday or Saturday. I just know at least once a week with my current new schedule. So yeah, just be aware, watch the Twitch channels if you want to join in and participate in the fact that this is going to be again, I'm allowing backseat gaming. I hadn't a lot of people here that I did not have anybody here this time to help actually switch anything around, so yeah, that is something to take note of in the future. I am absolutely willing to let people come in here and decide what some of these choices are, which means you might be able to affect those purity, corruption, and morale meters. So yeah, until next time, that will be all for right now. Thank you all so much for watching, whether it is on Twitch, on YouTube, or on the VODs in either of those locations. And until we meet again on these dusty trails, have a howling good day. Take care.